Week 8. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Ragsdale Rumble, brought to you by the Herb and Raj podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, and we are joined, as always, by our two competitors. Starting off with you, Herb. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing splendidly fantastic, Mike.
All right. Sounds fairly familiar. I'm glad to hear it. We will switch over. Raj, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastically splendid on this beautiful Wednesday evening, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I appreciate you asking. You know, you always ask, and
I do.
Somebody else never asks when I let him go first.
Hey, I'm a gentleman.
So I don't know if I should.
Oh wait, okay. Let me rectify that. Never mind.
I don't know if I should take that as a personal shot. I don't know if I've done something to offend him.
You started something called the Raj Fan Club on the same show. I will never forget that.
I don't think it was called the Raj Fan Club. Maybe it was.
It was the RFC.
Yeah, I don't.
It was so long
I don't remember that. Maybe I blacked out.
Yeah.
I don't recall. I hear that a lot when I talk to Raj. I don't, or with Herb.
I need to go grab my shirt. I need to go grab my shirt. If I don't remember it, it didn't happen.
Exactly. A lot of Herb's and I conversations off air usually end with, I don't remember saying that. And it's usually by one of us, mostly him, but
yeah.
Surprisingly
enough, a lot of my conversations with my niece end up with her saying, I don't remember that. Anybody who's out there a kid, then that's what Raj has to look forward to.
Can't wait.
I love teenagers. Oh, goodness. All right, but it is week 8 of the college football season. Man, it doesn't seem like it. I mean, it seems like it's flown by. It doesn't seem like we should already be at week 8. I think Alabama's only played like 7 weeks. There was 1 week, I think, that we just didn't play. I don't know. But we will get into week 8 of the Ragsdale Rumble. Recap of last week. Both Herb and Raj successfully execute anti-brother picks, ending the week in a tie.
Wow.
Were we just not trying?
Look, I was going to gloss over the fact that you're both 3-6. It is the worst week we've had on the Ragsdale Rumble this year from both of you. Both of you have had losing records in a week. But it's the first time both of you guys have had losing records.
Did we just pick them all drunk? Like, what the heck?
Yeah, I'm not real sure. Maybe next time you should pick them drunk. Maybe they'd be better.
Well, I'll work on that then.
But they did end the week in a tie. So, in our group text, you guys asked, and I didn't say you tied. I didn't mean you tied for the entire season. It does mean Raj is still up 1 game for the season. I had to keep some suspense behind the scenes, but still a lot of football left to be played. We've got a lot of games this week, a lot of games going forward. We will get right into it. First game up, South Carolina travels to Oklahoma to take on the Sooners. There's an early 11:45 kick in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is favored by 3. Herb, since you still won a couple weeks ago and tied last week, you guys were up first. Who do you have and why?
Watching the Red River rivalry, the RRR, the Texas beatdown invitational was rough. I decided there is no stats, there's nothing involved in this game that can make me pick Oklahoma's offense. I think both defenses will do very well in this game, but if you had to tell me which quarterback will finally break through, I would have to go with South Carolina. I didn't even text Oklahoma guys to see what they say because I think they'll probably still pick Oklahoma, but I'm just so disheartened. So for South Carolina, it's really, do they bounce back from the heartbreak of letting the game slip away that they had a great chance to win from last week? So if they recover from that, I think they're fine. But I just feel like at some point South Carolina will score in this game before Oklahoma will score in this game. And that's really, I mean, what are they down to putting punters out there as wide receivers or something? Like, they're losing so much of their offensive core. It's terrible. So I'm taking South Carolina on the road.
And I did hear their quarterback was supposed to be questionable, but I thought I heard he is going to play.
No. He's a questionable quarterback. Like, he's just not really.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I misunderstood it. Raj, do you agree? Do you go with South Carolina, or do you have a different opinion?
I agree on this one. I kind of feel like if South Carolina could score at least 2 touchdowns, they could win this game. Again, to Herb's point, I do agree. Both defenses are definitely going to show up, and we saw what South Carolina's defense has done throughout the season. They're pretty solid. OU's got a pretty solid defense, but OU's offense is just nowhere where it needs to be, especially to compete in the SEC right now. We know they've got a mobile quarterback he can run, but in order to kind of win games in this conference, you're going to have to be able to pass to and score. And I just don't think OU has enough firepower right now. And Herb even mentioned they're still depleted. I think on both sides of the ball, more on offense than defense.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with South Carolina in this one.
All right, everybody picking South Carolina there. We will move on to Florida against Kentucky. The game for next to last place in the SEC. The only team that would be ahead of them is little brother down south, which we won't talk about too much. Glad to see they're in last place, though. Florida is at home, and this game has moved. It was Florida favored by like a point being at home. Last time I checked, it was now a pick'em game, so there is no favorite. Roger at first. Who do you have and why?
This is one of those games I kind of struggled. I went back and forth with a lot, but I'm going to lean towards Florida winning this game. I think that offensively, Kentucky is going to have a better defense. But I feel like DJ Lagway is going to go out there and he's just going to toss it up. I mean, Florida doesn't really have too much more to lose in the season. They're what are they, like 3-3 right now? They're still in contention for a bowl game if they win enough. But I think Lagway is going to go out there and he's going to toss up some touchdowns. So, and we know what Kentucky's offense can and cannot do. And I just feel like Florida is going to come up with more lucky, big play, explosive plays throughout the game to kind of give them the edge. So I'm going to go Florida.
Yeah.
All right, Herb.
Yeah, this is one of those like Kentucky's already started to move on towards basketball season sort of games. And Florida, if they have any chance of saving Napier's job, this is the kind of game they have to win. Yep. And there was an inspired performance last week. It's kind of like with South Carolina. You lose a game that maybe you really thought you had in your grasp. So how do you bounce back? That's my only worry with them. But I feel like at home with Kentucky, I mean, they just don't score. The defense will hold them in it, but their offense is, to use a Raj word, I guess, putrid at times. And I feel like if I had to trust one of these guys to maybe get to 20, I'm going to go with Florida and Lagway back there versus Kentucky. So taking Florida.
So everybody's going with Florida. So basically you're saying UK is not okay. But we will see on Saturday.
Wow. Has he been babysitting, Raj? Is that what's going on?
I don't know.
All right, moving right along. Number 6, Miami, going into the Louisville Cardinal. Early game again. Miami is a 4.5-point favorite. Herb, you're up first. Who do you have and why?
So this one I think is going to be a fun one to watch. Miami hasn't scored under 38 points in any game. They've been escaping several games with Virginia Tech and Cal back-to-back weeks. I feel like this is the week it just catches up to them. Louisville has a good offense. They did drop a couple games, Notre Dame and SMU, but neither one of those, that's no slouch to either one of those before bouncing back against Virginia. Good offense. They got them last year on the road. I don't think they'll be afraid of Miami, and I think Miami is due to drop a game. I think this is it. I'm taking Louisville at home.
All right. Raj, what do you think?
I got to agree in Herb with one aspect. I do think Miami is due to drop a game. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen this Saturday. So with that being said.
Here we go.
Anti-Herb.
Oh, you know what?
I'm going to go
I
with
got to
Miami.
give style points. I got to give style points for that one.
I added some swag on at the end. I'm going to go with Miami. I know they have been riding somewhat of a lucky streak the past 2 to 3 weeks, but I just don't think they'll need it. I think Miami's going to have too much firepower for Louisville, and Cam Ward's Heisman campaign will continue. Whether he wins it, I probably not, but he's looking pretty good this season. So I'm going to go with Miami.
There we go. Our first anti-brother pick of the week. And as we saw in our recap, those make all the difference in the world. So Raj going with the University of Miami, going against his brother with Louisville. Next up, you have number 16, Indiana. I don't know that I've ever said that not during basketball season. Against Nebraska. Indiana is at home and favored by 6.5. Raj, you're up first. Who do you got?
Before I discuss my picks, I'm going to be completely honest with everybody that's watching. I had absolutely no idea that Indiana was ranked in the top 25. I have not paid a single.
I'm not sure I knew Indiana played football.
Single second to their football team. I cannot name one player on their football team. With that being said, I did look into some numbers. Indiana's offense is actually averaging like 47.5 points a game, while Nebraska's averaging 28. We might be a little familiar with Nebraska's quarterback in Dylan Raiola, but other than that, I can't provide too much more information other than Indiana has a really, really high-powered offense, and I think they're going to get the win at home. I think they cover.
All right, Herb?
Yeah, this one of those. And I also didn't realize Nebraska had only lost one game. I thought they
Yeah.
were on more of a skid before I started this. But I'm like Raj, I haven't watched a single second of Indiana. I can't, I can look at their schedule and tell you who they played, but not offhand. I can't remember a single good thing about them. But it kind of just leans to, yeah, they have a good offense and playing at home. And that's honestly as deep a dive as I wanted to go into this. I gave this game to
Yeah.
Indiana.
Yeah. Same
All
here.
right. Moving right along. Number 12 Notre Dame travels into Atlanta to play Georgia Tech. They are a rather large favorite, even though Georgia Tech has had a really good season. Notre Dame favored by 11.5. Herb, who do you have on?
I'm taking Notre Dame on the road here. I feel like Georgia Tech, we maybe thought a little bit better out because they surprised Florida State in the year, and then that win doesn't look as good as it did.
Yeah.
Notre Dame seems to kind of win these kind of games, teams that they're favored over that might be a little bit better than versus like the Northern Illinois where they're supposed to squash them. I think once they get that game out of the way, they play a lot better. And they're kind of not in the spotlight anymore. A lot of people have written them off. I think it's a perfect spot for them to go out and crush Georgia Tech. So I'm taking Notre Dame.
All right. Raj, do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I agree. I feel like Notre Dame's been playing much better football since their loss to Northern Illinois. So with that being said, I'm not going to go too deep into this one, but I am going to say Notre Dame. Although I don't think they cover. I think this game is going to be a little closer than people expect.
All right. There we go. Everybody going with Notre Dame. Moving right along to really one of the more surprising ones to me that both teams are ranked. Number 22, Illinois hosts number 24, Michigan. Michigan is favored on the road by 3.5. Raj, who you got in one?
I'm going to make it sweet and short. I picked Illinois simply because Illinois is playing at home, and I think their offense is a little better than Michigan's offense.
All right.
Short and sweet.
I was really hoping he would pick Michigan so I could get my anti-Raj pick in, but I don't believe in Michigan's offense enough to get this game. I'm surprised they're still ranked. Favored in this one, but Illinois, I give a slight edge at home, and then I just trust them to actually get a score in here somewhere. So taking Illinois home. You could tell me that I was Indiana, and I'd probably take Indiana at home too.
Yeah.
Michigan,
I will tell you the coolest thing that I've heard in local sports talk. Obviously, I am in Birmingham, Alabama. The coolest thing is no matter which one of these teams loses, that will open up a spot at the very back end of the top 25. So maybe Vanderbilt can be ranked. And I know a lot of people want to see that now with the streak that they've been on. So that's probably the coolest point of the game to me.
And Vandy plays Ball State, so they'll be 5-2 after this week. I don't know if the win will Ball. I don't know.
They lost to Georgia State, who they should have beat as well.
True.
So
that's true. I don't know if the win with Ball
part of the
State
team that they struggle with
will kind of get them in the top 25. But I do know they've been receiving votes again in the top 25. So
I voted for them.
Hopefully after this weekend they're in the top 25.
All right, there we go. Moving on to a game that we are probably a little bit more interested in. Number 8 LSU travels into Arkansas. Arkansas is not favored. LSU is favored by 2.5 points. Raj, who do you have? I'm sorry, Herb. I think you were first on.
Yeah. So this is one of those. If it was like LSU -6 or 7, I'd go, okay, yeah, I feel more confident. I want to take LSU. But the line being this short, the way Arkansas has been feisty this year, you saw the way they played it against Tennessee. They've also, they should have had that win against Oklahoma State. Arkansas is kind of one of those teams you can't overlook. And as well as LSU's been playing, I still don't fully trust them. So don't know. And this is what I also wish Raj would have gone first because I might have just picked whoever he didn't. But I'm taking Arkansas at home to get the upset.
All right. Raj, do you agree?
Unfortunately for the viewers, I do agree.
I think everybody wanted to see you dance, Raj.
This is one of those games when I just kind of went back and forth and just kind of meddled between the games. But I feel like both defenses have been playing much better as the season's progressed. Still not sold on LSU's offense nor Arkansas's offense, but I do think Arkansas is going to get enough stops later on in the game to kind of give them the victory. So I got Arkansas.
All right. Moving on, the final game that we will talk and pick on, the big game of the week, number 1, Texas, hosting number 5, Georgia. The line has actually moved a good bit. I had, before we started the show, Texas as a 3.5-point favorite.
Same here.
Double-checked the lines. Yeah, I double-checked ESPN Bet, and they actually moved it to a 5-point favorite for Texas. I know the line has been back and forth a lot this week. with this game. But Raj, you're up first. Who do you have in line?
This is a good one. This is going to be obviously the best game of the weekend. Tough game, 2 top 5 teams. Texas has looked sharp all season. I still think, obviously, they're ranked number 1, and I still think they didn't do anything to lose a spot, even with Oregon beating Ohio State. Georgia didn't look too great last week against Mississippi State. They won, 34-24 at home. Still got some things that they need to work on. But overall, I just feel like Texas is just too sharp, and they're going to have too many explosive plays throughout this game. I do see Texas covering this game. I'll go Texas.
There we go. Raj picking Texas in the big game. Herb, you agree? Oh, there's the way. Hey, ho.
Isn't that surf swag? Isn't that what that is? Like I'm Kirk Cousins right now.
It's swag surfing.
Is it surf swagging?
No, swag surfing.
And I don't know that your hands are up when you do that.
Yeah, your hands are
like right now. You're just swinging.
They are up because that's what Kirk Cousins does.
You're just Herb surfing now.
I don't know that I'm going to go to Kirk Cousins for any of my dancing information.
You like that? You like that?
Yes. I'm sorry. What were we doing now? Oh yeah. So
yes.
what did they? I'll just make a pick. Look, we know Randy. If I pick Texas, he'll never let me hear the end of it, and I just can't live.
Now hold on. Life. No, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah,
I know you're going to bring up Mr. U and how that didn't go right for my life. But
you have already let one of your friends influence your pick for once already this season, and it came back to bite you. I just want to warn you of that.
It did. You know what? If being loyal to my friends is what comes back to bite me, then that's fine. I'm taking Georgia solely because of Randy. Randy, I hope you watch this and give me some kind of shout out for having your back. Taking Georgia.
Haven't you seen New Jack City? Don't you know loyalty will get you killed?
Haven't you seen City Slickers?
Yeah, I saw both of them. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
No correlation. I just want to throw out a movie.
Well, no, I'm just not smart enough to think of another city movie on the fly. So I just
keep going. I'm gonna be like, haven't you seen Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
All right. So there we go. We do have that makes our second disagreement. So there are 2 games that we disagree on. We disagree, or you guys disagree on Miami and Louisville, which is an anti-Herb pick by Raj. And then, so is this an official anti-Raj pick, or is it
definitely an official anti-Raj pick? But it was
because you gave Randy as your reason, so it not really Raj as your reason. But we'll go with it.
Did you not see the super swaggy surfing?
Unfortunately, I did. Trust me, I will never.
That makes it an anti-Raj.
There was no swag involved.
Hey, look, I can start playing the video of Mike singing
Is that
what if that's what we're doing right now?
My goodness.
Let's let that die.
Hey, you know what? With that being said, after we beat Tennessee, you got to put that video on Twitter.
It's already on. I posted it at the game. Yeah, I posted it on Facebook.
I appreciate how you follow us on social media there, Raj, because it is already there. It's been there since Saturday.
In his defense, he doesn't see everything we post because we post from the same one. So it's not like he checks out all of his. So
that's true. Fine. But you also said you posted it on Facebook. So I would think you would.
Yeah, but I don't think he's on Facebook much during the game. So he probably missed that too.
I didn't see it on Facebook at all. I'll double check though.
Look, it doesn't Raj,
I could just give everybody
more fun when
staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window, close up the illuminate the word that you cannot find. Reach it, there's something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. To release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. No one else can let it in. No one else can see the words on your list. Only some of the words unspoken. Today where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten.
All right, so hold on. Do I have the pose right, Raj? This is how you looked after we played it on your show on Tuesday.
Bring your hat down a little lower.
Trust me, I would if I could. My head's too big. Speaking of Alabama, we will get into our last game that we don't pick, but we do talk about. It is the 3rd Saturday in October. and can't get away without letting you guys get a score prediction. And I'm going to let Raj go first. What do you think the score will be on Saturday?
Yeah,
You good there, Mike? Are you good?
I'm trying to hold it together.
I do think Tennessee is going to put some points on the board. I'm hoping that our defense comes out much improved over the past 2 to 3 weeks, and they look sharper, and we can get some blitzes in and kind of stop the run. But eventually, Tennessee will get some scores in, whether it's 14, 17, or even 21. So I'll go on the higher end, 21. But I don't think they're going to be able to stop our high-powered offense. I think it's going to come back to life this Saturday, and I think Alabama wins 35-21.
All right, there you go, Herb. What do you think?
I think it'll be closer, but I do think both offenses get going a little bit. Nico just hasn't looked as good to me in against tougher competition.
Yeah.
Now our defense has lapses, so it'll be like three and outs for Tennessee, and then like an 8-minute drive. You know what I mean? So it's kind of feast or famine. Stopping the run game definitely key in this one. I think if we put a little bit more into that, I think we'll be okay. This game scares me though. This is like when I said 10-2. I was like, man, if we can get Georgia because they're at home, like the 2 games that scared me at the beginning were Tennessee and then kind of LSU.
Yep.
So this is like, and then, we all know what happened last time we were there. But,
yeah,
of course, I'm going to pick us. You're going to say we're playing the Chiefs and I'm picking us to win. Yep. But I'm going to go something like, 35-31, just because I know they can't let me relax in the fourth quarter. I just don't think this team is capable of it. So I'll say 35-31 just because they like giving me heart attacks.
Okay. So 35-21 for Raj. And Herb, give me your score again. Sorry, I was looking for something.
I said I've got friends in low places if you wanted to hear my score, or I've got 35-31.
I'm your score. That was a great score.
Okay.
But I love the analysis. I love everything that you guys said. But it is the 3rd Saturday in October. It is rivalry week. So you know what? Bama by 50.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Snitches.
Yes. That's the energy I need to see.
Yes.
Let's get into Saturday.
Yes.
Everybody have a great day. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.